Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 84 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. Welcome to you all.
Yeah, nice uplifting, positive episode today, do you think? Maybe?
Yeah.
See how we get on.
Yeah.
You wanted to tell everyone about Louie, didn't you, before we got into all the doom and gloom?
Yeah, I did. So Wrexham Police FC got in touch with us earlier this week and explained to us about Louie. He is a 4-year-old little boy with a rare genetic condition. And what they're doing is they are doing a charity football match to raise money for Louie to make his house, his home, a lot more adaptable and accessible for him. So there is a Just Giving page, which we will put everything down in the description for you to donate if you can, or just go onto Wrexham Police FC's Twitter page and just repost anything to do with this charitable cause. Anything can help, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to do. They've got a charity football match, as Sean said. That's in March. I think it's on the 23rd. Details of that are down in the description as well. And a big shout out to a couple of people. Mark White won. If you don't know who Mark White is the manager / owner of Dorking Wanderers.
Yes.
I love Mark White. He's a beautiful human being. Mark White is. He's great, and he's a breath of fresh air in football.
So generous as well.
He is. He donated some money. He did a special video on his sort of Twitter page as well, and that's been shared out. So thank you very much to Mark for that one. Nick Knowles. Off the telly.
Off DIY SOS.
Yeah.
I've served him in River Island in Chester.
Have you?
When I worked there, yeah.
Oh, is that your claim to fame?
No, because I've stood next to Ryan Reynolds. That's even more of a claim to fame. So,
he did a video, so that's great. Ryan and Rob donated a substantial amount of money to the cause as well. So like Sean said, it's about giving a little boy some quality of life and sort of, making his home suitable for what he needs it for. So all the details of that are down in the description. If you want to give some money, whatever you can give, it would be greatly appreciated. So have a look down in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. If you listen to the podcast, obviously head over, have a look in the description. All the details are there. We have shared some stuff out on our Twitter as well. If you just want to head over, whatever's easier for you. Whatever's easier for you, love, you go and do that. And as long as you're donating some money, that'd be really good.
I've seen some videos of Louie, and he is just the cutest little boy.
Yeah, he is.
And he just seems, considering his condition, he just seems like such a happy little boy. Yeah. And give if you can. That's just all I'm going to say.
We know times are tough.
We
do. So anything would be appreciated, whatever it is that you can afford. That would be amazing. Right, Bradford. Let's start with Bradford.
To be honest, I've wiped this out of my mind as like the Salford game.
Unfortunately,
Salford?
I'm very professional, so I had to research it greatly this morning.
I mean, I watched the highlights back behind my fingers.
Yeah, So we were obviously at the game on Saturday. Before the game, just something nice and good. We got interviewed for the Welcome to Wrexham documentary.
You should mention that.
Why not?
Because it might not make the cut.
Might not make the cut, but we were interviewed. We were interviewed for it. We also had a fan cam for the game. Second game in a row that we've had one of them. I'm starting to think that the fan cam is a little bit of a curse because we took it to Salford and we had it for Bradford on Saturday. So is any of the footage going to be used? I very much doubt it because it was so minimal. I got a bit excited when Arthur saved the penalty, I must admit. But I think I swore quite a bit, so I'm not sure how much of that they can use. We had a little bit of a chat with a film crew prior to the game as well.
Nice guys.
Lovely guys.
Sandy and the guys.
Yes, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Probably, I would say the only fun we had that day. But
Yeah.
look, it was, you know, it's all good fun anyway. So the team, we had no Tunnicliffe.
Nope.
Do you know why?
No.
No, not me.
No.
It seemed a bit strange to throw him in at the deep end at Salford.
And then not playing at all.
He played most of the game, and then he wasn't even in the squad.
No.
Unless, you know, coming back from injury, playing a lot of minutes, maybe he picked up a slight tightness in one of his muscles somewhere. But whatever, he wasn't in the squad. Found that a little bit bizarre because nothing was released about that. Fletcher came in for Dalby.
He did.
I think that was a positive move.
Yes.
For me, it was anyway.
It definitely showed.
Yes, and I think it was the right thing to do. If Fletcher's fit, I think you always want to have Fletcher on the pitch.
He's a beast.
He is. He's good in the air. Although he didn't win a lot in the air, I think the Bradford centre half had the measure of him from any sort of long balls that were coming over. But it's just his touch and how relaxed he is on the ball and his distribution and everything. I just think obviously he's got 15 years on Sam, you know, 15 years more experience of, you know, learning the craft of being a difficult striker to play against, and you know he's used that time wisely, and it shows that he's a more experienced player. But for me, if he's fit and however many minutes he can play, I think he should be starting.
Definitely.
For me.
Hopefully he can last a full 90 minutes at some point.
I don't think his fitness is ever going to improve. I think look, if we can get an hour, 65 minutes out of him week in, week out, I will take that.
What's he whinging about? He has a 15-minute break at half time. Come on, it's enough to recuperate and get on with it.
Some would argue he's got a week break in between games, hasn't he? But no, I'm joking. But I don't know. I'd like to see him start more often. I just think he gives us a little bit more. And you know, it is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Now, I was quite nervous.
You were?
Before the game.
I remember you telling... Who did you tell that you were nervous? Was it Andy?
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody that would listen. I felt nervous. I don't know. I think the nervousness wasn't just mine either.
No.
I think it was quite palpable. The crowd seemed quite...
subdued.
Quite subdued. A lot quieter than normal. I think it was one of them games that everyone was just like, can we just get in and get out with a 1-0 win, get it back on track, and let's move on and start building on that. And I think, you know, that Bradford brought the noise. To be fair to the fans,
they were loud.
They brought the noise, and you know they were up for it. And you know, as I say, it was a little bit weird because I think everyone just had clenched fists for most of even before the game started.
You could just see it on everyone's face.
Yeah, it just felt the nerves were just. It was for me, it was quite a strange atmosphere on Saturday. Like I say, people just wanted, let's just sneak in 1-0, get out, and let's try and let's go home and let's move on to Tuesday and let's build on that. But we were shooting towards the wrong end in the first half, weren't we?
Yeah. It's all. Yeah, I mean, you know, the guys in the tech end, all the fans in the tech end are just amazing. You know, they're so loud. They goad the goalkeeper from the other team, but they kind of like try and put him off and stuff like that. So yeah, they're really great. But for some reason, we know the reason. They weren't as vocal on
no one was.
Saturday.
Our stand was like a morgue.
I was very vocal.
Yeah, it was like a morgue on Saturday. The Mould Road. It was so quiet. There was no real noise coming from our side. As you rightly said, the tech end was a bit still vocal, but
not as
a little bit quieter than normal. Nothing coming from the temporary stand at all.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, I know.
This is why, when we checked on Friday before the game, there was about 200 tickets left on sale for the temporary stand.
That was on Friday night.
Was it Friday night? Subsequently they all sold out.
Yes.
But I feel like people who are wanting tickets, they want to be in the thick of it. They want to be in the tech end, or, you know, where people are vocal.
Yeah.
But I kept looking over at the temporary stand, and it was just, I said to you, didn't I? I said, it looks like just they've stuck like a picture of a load of people, because
Yeah,
nobody
it did.
was moving.
Yeah, you said that to me. You said,
was
doesn't
so
it look like they're just a load of like a dummies
Well, yeah, because
sitting in there?
they
Yeah.
weren't moving. I mean,
No.
they did the odd clap. There was a couple of people that were like getting up and like.
Yeah, but
it was very bizarre, and I found that in possibly since it's been up since the Newport game.
maybe
Was it up for the Newport game? I can't remember now.
It was the Newport. Yeah, you're not right.
You're not right.
You're right. No, you're not wrong. You're right.
Okay.
Look, few chances
Yeah.
early on. Fletcher had a header. Pretty well saved, I'd say, by the goalkeeper. A Barnett long range effort, well saved by the keeper. Hayden had a header, just narrowly wide of the post. And it sort of felt like on a normal week, one of them might have dropped for us. One of them might have gone in, and it wasn't. We then had something I want to talk about. I'm not going to dwell too much on opportunities that didn't result in goals, but we had an incident where the ball went up to Paul. He got a little nudge in the back. He went over. Everyone screamed for a penalty. And he was adamant it was a penalty. Few of the others went over and asked for a penalty. I've watched the replay back. A couple of things. One, I think it might have just been outside the box. So even if it was a foul or not, it's slightly irrelevant. I think it was just outside, although it was close.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
Maybe one of his legs were inside the box and the rest of his body was outside the box.
Yeah,
Does that count?
No, it doesn't.
No,
it's where the actual incident takes place.
Right.
So if I push you, it's where the push happens.
All right.
Yeah. My question, I suppose, is twofold. One, does he go down too easy? Not just in this incident, in general.
I love Paul Mullin.
Yes.
But yes.
Yes.
I think but we were having a discussion about this. I think he but. Yeah. I think he does, but we were having a discussion about this at some point during the really enthralling game that was Bradford on Saturday.
Yeah.
And we were talking and saying that the referee has probably, he's done it so many times. I think the referee was just like, he wasn't having any of it. So I think the referee kind of knows what he's like.
Does he? So I suppose the second part of the question is, does his reputation sort of precede him a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah, and because I don't know, as a referee, I don't really know what prep you do for a game. If you do any prep at all, do you need to know your opposition? Are you looking? I don't know.
Yes.
If I'm honest, I've never been that in depth into referees, but I would guess the high profile that we are as a club, anyone's going to ref them. They know this and they know that, and they've maybe seen highlights of us more than they've seen highlights of other teams, perhaps.
Yeah, probably.
Sometimes. On Saturday, was it a penalty?
No.
No, I don't think so.
It was outside the box, no.
But having said that, I have seen them given. I've seen them given against us. The Wimbledon penalty earlier in the season when we drew 1-1, that was a bit of a nudge in the back, and that was slightly innocuous, and they give that, and then it wasn't too dissimilar. So I've definitely seen them given.
What, outside the box?
No, I'm saying if it was inside the box, is what I'm saying. That one, I think it was outside anyway, but we didn't get anything for it, and I just worry that that how easy maybe Paul goes down on occasions is sort of working against him now. And I think he's maybe going to have to fight a little bit harder to stay on his feet a little bit more, because...
It's like a rag doll, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think sometimes we're going to be throwing potential opportunities away if he'd have just stayed on his feet. hoping to get a free kick in a good area,
Yeah.
hoping to get a penalty. I just think he might have to start altering his game a little bit, and he might just have to be a little bit stronger and stay on his feet.
I'm concerned about Paul.
Okay.
I am. I'm concerned about him because I feel that since his injury from the US when they were in pre-season, the first few games when he came back, he was on it.
Yeah, he wasn't really though, was he? Not the first couple. He sort of did grow into it a little bit.
But I feel like he's kind of
dipped.
His trajectory.
I don't think people want to talk about it too much. I think people want to focus on the players that are an easy target sometimes. Ben Tozer, for example, I think he comes in for a lot of criticism.
Yeah, the Salford game, it got my goat, people saying what they were saying about Ben.
Look, he had a bad game, and I don't think he had an amazing game on Saturday either, but he seems quite an easy target. I think especially central defenders can be an easy target. Someone like Paul, I don't think a lot of people want to point fingers at too much.
No,
because he's a hero.
Mullin.
He's a hero, isn't he?
He's Paul Mullin.
He is though, and
yeah.
But I think even he's got to hold his hands up sometimes and go, do you know what? He's just not playing very well at the moment. He can still make his runs, and he can still pull defenders here, there, and he's still a worthwhile and very valid member of this team because he creates spaces for other players that other strikers in our ranks can't do. But he's definitely off his game at the moment. A lot of people saying, look, there's no service coming into him.
That's what I was literally just about to say.
There's no service coming in.
Yeah.
So how can we really judge him? Look, we saw service into him on Saturday.
Yeah.
He had the ball, he had chances, he ballooned one miles over. He had a free kick, I think, at one point as well, which didn't really amount to anything. I just don't think, for whatever reason, he's not the only one.
No.
But you're right to say, I would rather sometimes give the other lads who get all the flack all the time a little bit of a breather and focus on some other players like Elliot Lee and like Paul Mullin, who also aren't putting in shifts the way that they have been previously. This isn't a let's all point fingers at Ben Tozer fest. Do you know what I mean? Let's all point fingers at whoever. Sometimes you've got to collectively take that on board.
They're a team at the end of the day, so
they are.
They help. They're in positions to help. Their fellow, whatever, striker, defender, whatever. So yeah, they're a team. So I feel like you can't. I'm not having a go at Paul Mullin because I think he's fantastic. I really, really do. But I just think at the moment he's a little bit off his game. But yeah, I think that rather than going for just one player, you need...
I just realised, we said instead of just pointing fingers at one player, and we're sitting here pointing fingers at one player.
No, we're not, no.
No, I know.
No.
But no, that's what it sort of sounded like.
Yeah.
Let's not focus on one player.
But Paul Mullin. I think, there are a few people that are off their game at the moment.
There are.
And I just think that,
Collectively,
I think there are a few people off their game, and I think that's a fair comment to make. I don't think it's a horrible comment to make.
You're very right. There are players that are off their game, or there are still players out there like Elliot Lee. He's just not affecting games in the way that he was 5-6 weeks ago. Now, but collectively as a team, we've taken a bit of a dip. But
the only way is up, baby.
But the thing with, I understand why Elliot and Paul don't get the same sort of flack as other players. The reason is they're two players, for example, who could literally win you a game in 2 minutes, and they've still got that. And but the other players that maybe get abused, they can't win you a game in the space of
But is that not down to their position in the game?
It is. But I'm just saying, and I think some players maybe because of what they've done earlier in the season or last season, that you've got a player who performs consistently week in, week out, not flashy, doesn't do anything outrageous. When their form dips, everyone's like, well, hang on a minute, what's going on? And everyone's after them. Whereas somebody who's had highs and isn't just consistently performing, has loads of highs, scored hat-tricks, scored important goals, when they dip, people are a bit more reluctant to look at them because they know that they can win you stuff.
They'll bounce back anyway. Wrexham as a team are going to bounce back.
We are, and I just
100%.
Everyone just needs to
get behind them.
Look, we've said this before. That it very much falls into sort of two camps. The people are like, calm down, it's fine, we're always going to lose games. And the other ones who were very much like, I don't care about us losing games, it's just how we're losing games. I'm not saying Saturday was like that. I'm just saying,
Salford definitely was.
It was, and I think you've very much got two camps at the moment. The people who are just happy just to go, look, we're going to come back. We're going to come back from this. And the other ones who are a little bit more pessimistic. I flip from one to the other.
Yeah, you do. I'm quite optimistic when it comes to Wrexham.
Look, anyway, let's get through this bloody Bradford game.
Yeah.
Second half, massive warning. I think it was, I can't remember his name now, but they played a ball across. The guy ballooned it over from about 10 yards, and he was offside anyway.
Yeah,
but probably if he'd have just timed his run a bit better, bit of a better shot, I mean, he really should have been scoring that one. It was a massive warning. Not a massive lot happened in the second half. I mean, Lee flashed a header wide, which everyone thought was a big chance. We were right behind it. It was miles wide. I mean, it wasn't close. If he'd timed his run slightly better, I think he'd have got a better connection on it, and maybe caused the keeper some problems. But set pieces, I want to talk about corners, free kicks, all that. How poor were they on Saturday?
Right, let's talk about McLean taking corners. I love McLean. I think he's a brilliant player again. But for some reason, I don't quite understand why he was hoofing the ball so far past the goal that it was so difficult for the players to get any
Yeah, it was. Look, McLean's long corners have worked for us in the past. Balls round the back, Fletcher stealing in behind.
Little curve, don't they?
Yeah, he scored. That's how Fletcher scored against Barrow. That's how Fletcher scored against
some other team,
someone else. So them deep corners round the back, they do work.
But they didn't
on Saturday. I was lost because the corners were just way over. Nothing worked for us. I mean, it was just. I mean, I don't mind a corner to the back post, but this was almost to the other corner flag. I mean, it was so deep.
It was nearly in the club shop car park.
It was so deep. And I don't. For me, it's just you've got Aaron Hayden in the middle, but what we decided to do from every single corner is what it felt like was bypass him in the middle and try and get it to the back post to then get it back over to the middle. 9 times out of 10, that wasn't working.
So you'd think the first time he did it, okay, I'll give it another go. Gave it another go, didn't work. You think maybe the third time, you think, right, okay, I need to to change my tactics here. But no, he didn't. He just kept hoofing it still.
He did, yeah, I know. And I just think we could have maybe got some more chances out of that game if our set pieces were a little bit more on point. Into the middle, just get in the mixer. That's what we used to say when we were a kid. Get it right in there, and you never know what happens.
I was hoping for a Hayden header goal.
Yeah.
Hayden header goal.
Yeah, but it just didn't happen. And then they got a penalty.
Oh, that was
another thing that baffled me on the day. I saw the incident because what I tend to do when they're out wide. And I can see their shaping to put the ball in. I tend to look into the middle to see who's there, whether they're offside, who's marking who. Just my defender brain, that is. I tend to look. And I saw Cook beating Hayden, and I saw him wrap his arms around him. And when he went down, a little bit soft, don't get me wrong, but you got your arms around somebody right round their waist. They go over, the ref can see it. It's a penalty all day long. As soft as it is, it's never not going to be given because you're holding a player back.
Who was holding the player? What? Hayden was holding him back?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought that's what I thought you said originally.
No.
I was like,
So
that didn't happen.
Hayden's holding on to him, and he's pulled him down. It's always a penalty. It's always going to be a penalty. Even if we had VAR, right, which we don't in League Two,
Thank God.
even if we did, if they were to look at that and freeze frame it and rewind it, it's never getting overturned. It's a silly thing to do. But I sort of understand why he did it, because if he'd have let him go, you're sort of one-on-one and the likelihood is you're going to score. So I do get it. The thing that baffled me about the whole situation is he's quite close to goal. He's running onto the ball, clear goal scorer, an opportunity. He pulls him down. Now, my understanding of the rules is if you deny a clear goal scoring opportunity, that's a red card, yeah, when the player's clean through. If you make a legitimate attempt to play the ball and you miss and you bring the player down, that's not a red card, that's just a yellow. Okay?
Yep.
Now, holding on to somebody isn't an attempt to play the ball, because you can't play the ball with your hands and you're holding on to another
If he had
player.
his legs wrapped round him, that'd be a different story.
Maybe. I don't know. So I don't understand. If somebody wants to comment down below and educate me a little bit, what I need to understand is why Aaron Hayden wasn't sent off for that. If it's a penalty, why isn't he sent off? Because it cooks clean through. Okay? So somebody please educate me, because I don't know that. But then you sort of go, okay, if it isn't a red card for whatever reason, surely it's a booking. And he didn't book him either. So I'm not campaigning for Aaron Hayden to be sent off.
You're just interested to see why.
I just don't understand why he wasn't sent off. So it confused me, if I'm perfectly honest. Look, Cook stepped up. Arthur made a brilliant save. He went down to his right, then big long legs served him well. Cook went down the middle, and Arthur saved it. And I thought maybe I'm happy to get out of this with a draw in the end. I think we probably should have scored in the first half. We didn't. I had this horrible feeling that towards the end of the game, they were going to get a chance and they were going to take it. I felt like the penalty was their chance. They missed their chance, and I thought, let's just get out of here. Look, a draw, that's a stepping stone onto something. It's points. It's points. So I thought that's a stepping stone, into a new beginning for the club. But my fear was very much realised. I've seen it with Wrexham teams for years, and we throw things away at the last minute. And Saturday was no different. It was no different. There was a couple of things about the goal which infuriated me. So their keeper went down injured.
Oh, yes.
The ball.
Did he though? Was he injured?
Yeah, whether he was or he did fall quite heavy. Let's let him off and say he was injured.
No.
So the ball comes out. We collect the ball. So we're in possession of the ball when the ref stops the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the goalkeeper has some treatment. The game is restarted with a drop ball, as would be done because the ball was in play when the ref stopped it. He gives the drop ball to Bradford when, in my opinion, we were in possession of that ball when the game was stopped. From that drop ball, they hoof it long, and from that they score. Now, the other thing, Lee had the ball. He was shielding the ball. Personally, I felt he was fouled. A lot of people saying he could have been stronger. He could have been. A lot of people saying he could have laid it off a lot earlier. Yes, that is true. That doesn't really get away from the fact that I think he was still fouled. I think he was still pulled down. Ball goes into Cook. I'll take my hat off to him. It was a very good turn. He turned Tozer like
Put that hat back on.
He turned Tozer like he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Now Tozer isn't the quickest for turning. When a player puts him on his heels and he has to turn, he's not the quickest. But Cook did turn him very well, and I think he would have turned most people in that sort of situation. He had a shot. Arthur saved it. Came back to him, and he just nodded in. And that 90th minute, and I sort of sank really because I thought, I could just feel it
your
coming.
words were, I'm done.
I'm
done. I'm done.
I could just see it coming.
Yeah.
I could see it coming.
I'm not staying till the end, because we usually say right till the end to clap the guys because, whatever. But for some reason, Ryan was just like on Saturday, I'm
not
done.
staying.
I am not staying. There were a few expletives which I will not repeat.
Look, I've had time to reflect on that, and I was a bit angry at us throwing away any sort of 1.3, whatever it was, that we threw away. I was a bit angry, didn't want to stay, so we left. And in hindsight, I don't think it was the worst performance in the world.
No,
we created chances. Was it the Wrexham fortress and the way that we've been performing in the past? No, it wasn't. But it wasn't Newport away. It wasn't Salford away. We had a lot more of the ball. We created a lot more chances. Maybe on another day, we would have come away from that game with 3 points. We didn't.
No,
and that's the way, that's just the way it is sometimes. And I think for a lot of people, especially the sort of American fans maybe who are new, well, you a little bit as well, not just new to Wrexham but new to the game as a whole, really. I think we're getting a truer reflection of what it is to support a football club. It's not champagne and winning every single week, winning Tuesday, Saturday. It's not like that. We were spoilt last season, and this is sort of what it's like to support a football team in the UK. You're going to get, people are going to have dips in form. We've had a dip in form, and we're struggling to win at the moment. I think the American call it the yips, don't they? The yips?
No idea.
I think
Sounds
you
like a
do.
disease.
Comment down below. I'm sure it's called the yips.
Do you think that, obviously, because like you said, we were very spoilt last season.
Yep.
I say last. Yeah, it was last year. Last season. Do you think that when the next season, I was going to number the season now for some reason, I don't know why.
Yeah.
7,050.
Yeah.
Do you think next season, the 24-25 season, do you think we're going to see a dip in fans? Because when I say dip in fans, obviously I don't mean like all the OG fans that have been going for years and years and years.
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people, new, old, doesn't matter. They've got a renewed sense of belonging with this football club now. And regardless what happens with the rest of the season, I don't think we're going to see any sort of drop off. And I think we're going to go into whatever league we're in next season, we're going to go into it strong. And, this is just a dip in form, and just calm down. Look, some of the manner of some of the defeats recently have been poor. There was improvement on Saturday against Bradford. It wasn't our day, and it didn't happen for us. I've started to get my hives back because we've lost again, but it's fine. We're just gonna have to dig in, and we're just gonna have to get something. Maybe playing Sutton away is what we need to get back to winning ways and get back to winning away from home. Maybe it's just what we need. Although you could argue playing Salford away was that very opportunity. Playing Newport away was a very good opportunity to keep an away, to get some. But we've just got to take the next game as it is. I don't think we can panic too much. This is what it's like to support a football club, unless you're, well, even if you support bloody Man City or Liverpool or whoever it is.
So you got something black on your face.
They still lose games. All right, admittedly, not many, but most football clubs lose games. And we knew...
Only one team can win.
Yes, and we knew that there was going to be games we were going to lose this season. And there's going to be games where we were going to have a bad patch. We're having a bad patch.
We did last season.
Yeah, we're having a bad patch.
It was early on in the season, though, so...
Other teams are going to have bad patches. Mansfield will have a bad patch. Stockport will have a bad patch.
Barrow.
Stockport sort of already had theirs and come through theirs. Barrow, Crewe, they're all going to have bad patches. Notts County are going through their bad patch at the moment. It's going to happen. And it's just how we respond to that bad patch, how we put it right, and how we move forward. And I think you've just got to hold on, white knuckle it, and just go, it's going to get better, because trust me, it will get better. I've watched this team for years, and some years it doesn't get better, but this year it will. Trust me, it will get better.
It's the first time in 15 years that Wrexham have been in the EFL.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we stay in League One, so be it. It's, you know, it is not the end of the world. We are still.
This isn't how we're going to play every week.
No. Well, like you said, we've improved since Salford.
Yes. And we just got to build on that.
Yeah.
We got to take the positives out of the game.
Yeah.
A big positive for me was as little as he played was Luke Bolton, because he came on. I love Barney. Don't get me wrong. I love him, right? And I love the way he does his little tricks, and he gets down and he gets crosses in, and he always does. What I noticed with Luke Bolton though is he's a lot more direct than Barney is. He literally, whereas Barney likes to do a couple of tricks, hold the ball up, a couple of tricks, take someone on, Luke Bolton gets the ball and he's just gone. And he'll knock it past a man and he'll be after it, and he's quick. And I liked the way, I think that's a very good variation on what we've already got. I was dubious about him being signed. I was
going to say, are you starting to see why?
Yeah, I understand the signing, because he's very quick and he's very direct, and I liked it. I liked seeing that, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of that. Yeah. Hopefully not too much at the expense of Barney, but I
love Barney.
I do like the added option that we've got, because I do think they're two very different players. Yeah. When initially I thought they were very similar, but I think they offer different things. No, there was no Ollie Palmer in the starting lineup or the squad on Saturday. In your opinion, completely honestly, are we missing him?
I thought about this, and I kind of went, no, we're not. But then after the Salford and the Bradford game, yeah, I think, because we haven't lost a game, have we, with him starting?
Oh, well done. You've taken my stat and just read it out. No, we haven't lost a game that Ollie Palmer has started this season. So that's quite an interesting stat.
That rings alarm bells.
Yeah, so all the games we have lost this season, cup competitions, EFL Trophy, Carabao Cup, in the league, all the games we have lost, Ollie didn't start. Which that's look, I had to double check that. I did it. I went through it. Took me 10, 15 minutes and then I had to go through it all again just to make sure that what I was saying was right. But yeah, it's right. With every game that we have lost, he didn't start. So look, is he fit? I don't know. He seems fit to me and ready to go.
Yeah.
There's been talk of a fallout with Paul Mullin. I'm not sure I completely believe that. We've seen them together since that rumour first started.
People like there to be a drama, don't they?
They do. I'm not saying that's not true, but we have seen them together since. Now, at other clubs, Ollie's had an issue with his weight from time to time at other clubs. I'm not fat shaming or anything like that, but
he's not obese, is he?
No.
He's still very fit.
He is, but he has had issues with weight from time to time. I haven't seen him up close, so I would perhaps there's something with that an old sort of problem that's maybe reared its head a little bit. Look, I have no idea. Look,
I saw him warming up yesterday. Well, he was just was it warming up?
Having a kickabout.
And he didn't look fat.
Not
fat, but he didn't look like he was carrying any more weight than he did a few weeks ago.
The only reason I threw that out, it is a problem that he's had at other clubs, and it just for me, I'm just trying to pinpoint a reason as to why he's not starting or he's not in the squad, and I think I'd like to see him back.
Yeah. I think maybe he's had a fallout with Parky. Yeah. Maybe he's had a fallout with the coach. You just don't know, do you? You
don't. But I would like to see him back.
I think he won. I think looking at his face at the Salford game, and whilst he was, because he was running, doing whatever you call them,
sprints.
Yeah, with Luke Young, Max Cleworth. Oh no, was it Max Cleworth or Marriott or whatever? Whoever it was, you could tell he was like.
Annoyed.
I'm annoyed. I don't want to be off the bench, on the bench. I want to
Yeah,
be.
a lot. Look, but players have got to earn their place in this team, and for whatever reason, he's not earning that at the moment. I'd just like to see him do whatever it takes, earn it, because it'd be nice to. Now I know that stat. It would be nice to see him start a game and just see how we get on. Because it would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? You know, to see how it works. We've got a big game coming up against Notts County.
Oh my God.
And I think someone like him could make a big difference in a game like that. So anyway, other results from this weekend.
I will read these out.
Okay.
So yes, other results. So Stockport won 3-1 away at Grimsby. Mansfield won 4-0 away to Forest Green. Barrow lost 2-0 away to Wimbledon. Crewe beat Crawley 1-0. And MK Dons beat Accrington 2-1 and are now 1 point behind us in 6th place. And we've still got to play MK Dons.
Yes, we have. We're 9 points behind Stockport with a game in hand, 5 behind Mansfield with a game in hand, and 2 behind Crewe and 1 behind Barrow, and we've got 2 games in hand on them too. We're 6 points ahead of AFC Wimbledon in 8th with a game in hand. The reason I mentioned the 8th place team is they are the ones that are just outside the playoffs. So we've got a nice 6 point cushion and a game in hand on what is behind us. It's sad as it is. I just felt it was right to look at what was behind us as well as what is ahead of us at the moment.
Always look forward. So on Tuesday, we are away to Sutton United, which is obviously League Two action. We are at Gander Green Lane, or the VBS Community Stadium for sponsorship purposes.
Yes.
It's on Tuesday the 13th of Feb at 7:45 kickoff. It's available, obviously, because it's an evening kickoff. It's available for everybody on iFollow, which is amazing. I'll be watching. Ryan will be working.
Yes.
Last game was a 2-1 win in October. An Elliot Lee 89th minute winner.
Yeah, so they're obviously down the bottom of the table.
23rd.
Yeah, and we needed a last minute goal to beat them last time.
So annoying.
Yeah, they lost 1-0 away to Morecambe on Saturday. Their last 5, they've lost 3 and drawn 2.
We beat Morecambe 5-0 or 6-0 it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that does bode well.
They've only won 1 of their last 15 league games. Their last league win was on Boxing Day away to Wimbledon. Their last home league win was against Bradford on the 28th of October, which is a long time ago. But Salford hadn't won at home since October either, and look what happened when we went there. They're 23rd on 22 points. They've won 4, drawn 10, and lost 17. Top scorers Harry Smith with 7. Prediction.
I'm gonna go. Oh, do you know what? I was thinking about this last night. I'm gonna go a conservative 2-0.
I've got no idea anymore. I'm very much stuck in 2 camps with this one. I want to go a nice simple 1-0 just to get us back on track, but I sort of feel like if we're going to get back on track, we're going to do it with a bang. So we're going to win like 4-1 or something like that.
Hopefully.
Do you know what? Sod it. I'm going to go 4-1.
For God's sake, I've just closed the thing now where I've written it down.
Where you wrote 1-0?
Yeah.
I'm sort of, like I say, it's either going to be 1-0 or 4-1.
That's it now. It's locked in. You cannot change it again now.
Oh.
So moving on.
Yeah, I before we move on, I want to talk about our away form because we've got an away game coming up. I've been doing a lot of work on sort of looking at our away form. A lot of people that I talk to and get in touch with the show are worried that our away form is a very recent problem for the team. I just want to present facts to you, and then you can make your own mind up based on the facts rather than trying to sway you. But I would possibly argue our away form has not been great for quite some time. And I was stretched back into last season where I was started looking at sort of how we performed in games away from home last season, where sometimes we got out of jail a little bit. So we're 12th. In the away table, we are 12th. If you were splitting them into home and away, we're 12th. Compared to first on away form. Still the case even after Saturday. Nobody has scored less away goals than us this season in League Two. We are 24th for goals scored in away games. Okay, 7 teams have scored at least double the goals we have away from home. So I wanted to I just wanted to remind you about some of the games. Just remind you about some of the games, and you can make up your own mind whether this is a new thing, our away form, or something that sort of goes back a little bit further. So last season, away to Yeovil, we drew 1-1. That was Yeovil obviously ended up getting relegated from the division. Southend away, we produced nothing and drew there. It was very poor. Chesterfield away, we lost there 2-0. Awful performance, absolutely dreadful performance. We were at Oldham. We won that game 2-1.
Just late goals.
We were absolutely abysmal for 85 minutes of that game. Blythe Spartans in the FA Cup, a couple of leagues below us, and we drew away there. Wealdstone drew away there. York, we were at that game.
Drew again.
Last minute game, we drew away there. Maidstone away. Maidstone away was a last minute Aaron Hayden winner. Aldershot, last minute Sam Dalby winner. Maidenhead, it's when Mark Howard made his mistake and we ended up drawing that game. And we were obviously at the Halifax game as well, where we got absolutely pummeled 3-1.
But the following Monday,
yes,
we beat Notts County.
What I am trying to explain
I'm just trying to bring it around to be positive.
Yeah, it is. I think last season, perhaps we got away with a few. We got out of jail a little bit, and maybe that was because of not being disrespectful to anybody, but perhaps we were getting out of jail with last-minute winners, drawing games, because the level of opposition was slightly less than what we're facing this season. I am not being rude, but there's a tiered system for a reason. We are now playing, on paper, better clubs. So perhaps we're not really getting out of jail the same way that we did last season in what I've listed, 10, 11, 12 games there where away from home, regardless of the results, we were poor. And that when you're in double figures for poor performances away from home, we still got 111 points. But I just felt like we got out of jail way too many times. And I had this horrible suspicion that this was going to come back and bite us this season.
Yep.
And I sort of feel like it is a little bit at the moment. So, look, I think we will pull out of this. And I think we will get better.
100%.
I really do.
Yep.
But I do have this underlying fear that our away form is just something that has been a problem for a lot longer than people realize that it's been a problem.
Yeah.
Just rewind this video, look at all them games that I've listed, go back and just refamiliarize yourself with them games, and maybe you'll start to go, hang on a minute, maybe there's a point to this, and maybe we've not been very good away from home. And you got to bear in mind as well that these poor away performances were hidden in amongst beating Dorking 5-0 away, beating Dagenham 4-0 away. They were hidden in between some
good wins,
some quite good away wins. Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up. As I said, I just want to give you the facts. I don't want to tell you how to think.
So, Sutton on Tuesday.
Yep.
Back at home on Saturday.
Yes.
Where we host Notts County. I have to agree, not agree, I have to say I'm a bit nervous about this one. It's obviously League Two game, home game at the Stoke Ras. Oops, sorry, why have you put Tuesday the 17th? Saturday the 17th at 3 o'clock. Obviously because it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, only available for international fans on iFollow. So the last game was away, which wasn't a poor performance because we beat them in October 2-0.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a superb game. And I'm hoping, but I've got a...
Who scored our second, though?
I don't know, I can't remember.
Big Ollie.
I think last time that Notts County were at Stoke Ras, it was that infamous save penalty by Ben Foster.
Yeah, just throwing words. We
Everyone,
know what you mean.
You know what I mean. And then obviously we played them in this league, League Two in October. Shut up! I've got a point.
You're bumping a bit.
No, I'm not. I've got a point. I'm heading to the point.
Yeah.
So I feel like Notts County, not doing great at the minute, but I feel like they are going to come to Stoke Ras next Saturday, and they're going to want to put in a performance for the Notts County fans, and I think it's going to be a toughish game.
Yeah, look, Notts County are very much in transition at the moment. They've got a new manager. He's trying to impose his own way of playing. It's not quite working out for him. It will. Great manager. It will work out for him long term. And, you know, he's just trying to put his own ideas in, slightly playing a different way. They're in a real sticky patch in the same way that we are at the moment. They have picked up 2 points in the last 5 games. You know, so it's tricky for them at the moment in the same way it is for us. Look, if we don't win on Tuesday, I just think it becomes an even bigger game. It's quite hard to work out, gauge what's going to happen Tuesday to have a knock-on effect on Saturday.
I don't think it's a bigger game as it was last season, because obviously last season we were promotion rivals. This year it's just... But I think where you're coming from, because if we are losing streak at the moment, I think if we lose on Tuesday, then I get that.
They lost 3-1 at home to Gillingham on Friday night. Their last 5, they've lost 3 and drawn 2. Their last league win was the 29th of December, which was a 5-0 home win over Morecambe. Their last away league win was against Gillingham on the 21st of October. They're 10th on 44 points at the moment. They've won 13, drawn 5, lost 12. Their top scorer, we all know who their bloody top scorer is. He scored 20 goals this season. Prediction?
3-1.
Okay, straight in.
3-1.
You've written it down already.
I've written it down. I've locked it in.
I am going to go...
Boring.
No, not at all. I'm not going to go boring. I think... the way they play, I think it's going to give us lots of opportunities to score. And I think we're going to be back on it by then. I'm going to go for 4-2.
Whoa! Bringing the big guns out.
Yeah. So I've got in 2 games. Bearing in mind, right, our form at the moment, yeah?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind our form at the moment, you've asked me for 2 predictions in our next 2 games. Combined, I've said we're going to score 8 goals. I mean, it's just
You're mental.
I am mental. Let's move on. Look, a quick shout out for Dragon Chat. It's a mental health peer support group. They run weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday, and that is for the ladies, and that is at 8 p.m.
Ladies.
They run one on a Thursday, and that's for the men, and that's 7 p.m. The best thing to do is follow Dragon Chat-Steve Lloyd on Twitter. All the details of how to get on both of them calls are down in the description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, then and you're listening to the podcast on wherever it is you get your podcasts, head over to YouTube if you want all them details. Check us out on Twitter, do all that, and then you'll find out stuff.
Talking of Dragon Chat, I saw on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days, and I believe that they have now got, in the miners' rescue, they have got a room.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
Decked out for Dragon Chat, and it looks pretty swanky, so...
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to get in touch, sorry we haven't read any comments from you guys this week. You can get in touch on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com. Please don't forget, we do a half-time and full-time show now. If it's a home game, we do it live from the racecourse. And if it's an away game that we are at, we do the exact same thing. It's always signal dependent, but it's working pretty well at the racecourse at the moment.
We won't be doing one on Tuesday for the Sutton game because you're
Unfortunately
working.
not, but we will be doing our next half-time and full-time show will be for the Notts County game, which will be Saturday the 17th of
Correct.
February. Thank you very much. So yeah, there'll be half-time and full-time show. Just head over to YouTube and you can watch us live.
And hopefully
comment.
Ryan won't take the phone off me and rant.
Well, it is what it is. Should we do a quiz?
Shall we?
Yes, it's an
Let's.
observational quiz again, my darling.
Oh, I was going to swear then.
Were you?
I
Chill out. Chill out, calm down. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Number 1.
Yes.
In the Bradford lineup on Saturday, there was a player called Shelley, Kelly, or Nelly.
Kelly.
Kelly, well done. 1-0.
Oh!
1. No, there's no
1-0.
Just 1.
1.
On the bench for Wrexham,
Yep.
there were how many unused substitutes at the end of the game? 2, 3, or 4? Oh, it's all gone quiet.
Yeah.
It's all gone quiet over there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. Hang on.
Oh, it's not good for a podcast, this. It's all
3.
gone. 3 unused substitutes. Incorrect. It was
4.
2.
Oh.
Max and Mark were the only 2 substitutes not used on Saturday. Statement.
Oh, yeah, Marriott did come on, didn't he?
He did indeed.
That's what, yeah.
Statement. Okay. I was starting only one of these is true. Like
Okay.
two lies,
All right.
all that.
Okay.
Our starting lineup on Saturday had more shirt numbers under 20 than over 20. The highest number on the pitch at the start of the game was Bradford's Lewis Richards. Or number 3, the lowest number on the pitch was Bradford's Sam Walker.
Sam Walker's the goalkeeper, isn't he?
What, do you want help?
Yeah, I'm going to go that because he's number 1.
Well done. Yes, it is. Well done. Yes, so you got 2. Statement again. We didn't receive any bookings on Saturday. Number 2. We committed more fouls than Bradford. Or number 3, we had more shots on target than Bradford. Only one of them is true.
Well,
I can read them out again if you...
Number 1's definitely a lie because we did get bookings. Or did we? Ooh.
I can read them out to you again if you want to reevaluate.
I know he was getting his yellow cards out, but I can't remember who they were to. I'm going to go number 1, you know.
Are you?
Yeah, it'd be wrong though, won't it?
No, you're right. We didn't get any bookings. So
Bradford did though, didn't they?
yeah,
that's
they
where
had
yeah,
4.
yeah.
So yeah, they had more shots than us on target, quite a few actually. The attendance at the game on Saturday was
12,447.
okay. We'll skip that one. Well done. 4 out of 5. Excellent this week.
Thank you, sir.
That's very welcome. Look, I think we've tried to be as upbeat and as positive as we can. I think when I get a little bit disillusioned, I go for a retro shirt. This is one of my favourites, so that's why I tend to come to this one a little bit. Am I disillusioned? Maybe that's an unfair statement. I don't know what I am at the moment. Look, everyone just wants to see their team winning.
Of course they do.
All the time. And if we could wave a magic wand or rub a genie lamp and make that happen, I wouldn't get bored.
I mean,
look, the New Saints in the Welsh League have just broken the world record or equaled the world record. They've won in all competitions 27 games in a row.
Way!
Southampton recently, they're on an unbeaten run of 25 games. If you ask Southampton fans or New Saints fans, are you bored of this? I can guarantee you they will say no.
Okay.
They are not bored of it. So look, but in reality, this is what it is to support a football club. You're going to get highs, you're going to get lows, and you've just got to
keep behind the team.
Enjoy the highs, and we've had a lot of them, and we've been spoilt with them.
We have.
But you've just got to get through the lows, and you've got to keep the support high. And, you know, you've just got to keep going in the same way that they have to. You know, you can't shout at players for not giving their all when, as supporters, we're not giving our all sometimes.
So philosophical.
Yeah, don't.
Philosophical. That's the word I was looking for.
You've got to, you know, you can't. If you want them to give their all, we've got to do it as well, haven't we? And we've got to try.
If you can't love yourself, then how do you expect others to love you?
I don't know what that means, but I don't know what that's got to do with this.
Well,
but
if you don't love your fans, I don't know.
Shush now. And but yeah, you just got to stick with it. Stick with them. Look, we've had much worse times than this. Much worse times. You know, there's not that long ago looked like we were heading for relegation from the National League and into the National League North. That was only in 2019, 2020. You know, COVID did us a massive favour and it stopped the season short that we were on a huge slide. And, you know, look at us now. So, look, it's been a lot worse. I've been to plenty of games at the racecourse and sat there and looked at me dad and just gone, should we go home? Because it's just, you know, it's not happening. And it's you know, it's depressing.
It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
So, you know, maybe you've just got to have a bit of a reality check. We don't need to get rid of Parky, as I've seen a lot of people coming out with. You know, we just need to keep behind him.
Ryan Reynolds said on X, Twitter, whatever, he said, we have got the tools.
Yes.
We just need to bring them together.
Yes, he's right. I think maybe, Ryan, just as one bit of advice, sometimes you just stay off Twitter sometimes. I think the thing about how well Bradford played on Saturday annoyed quite a lot of people. Bradford didn't play that well. They didn't play with a lot of heart. They were there to spoil. They were there to slow the game down, and they were hoping to steal something. They executed that plan perfectly, but I'm not sure they played with lots of heart and lots of desire. Did they really? So maybe sometimes just read the room. We love you.
I think he's just a very positive person.
He is a very
nice person.
You are a very positive person. Sometimes just read the room and maybe just put Twitter down for a little bit and maybe not comment that. But yeah.
Well, you just spoiled our chances of ever getting Ryan on the podcast.
Yeah, because he was that close to coming on, wasn't he? Look, we love you all, and we will see you again next week. Hopefully,
with two wins,
with a couple of wins under our belt.
Yes.
So we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.